Alright, hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you on how I got a score of 135 in Duolingo with just 3 days of practices. It's not easy, but it's not too hard as well. You just have to understand every passage, every statement, and you just have to think through. Well, it's $49 and you can do it anytime you want, anywhere you want. As long as it's silent, you're the only person in the room. So this is how I took my Duolingo exam. This is where I took my Duolingo exam. One tip for you guys is to record your surroundings before you take the exam. Also, you should only be the only person in the room. The room should be well lit. The room should be very silent. Your surroundings must be very silent. You should always look up to your screen. Just focus on your screen, you know. I would suggest to put your volume, your speaker's volume from 85% and above. If you can put it maximum 100 for you to really hear the audio really clearly. Because if you're gonna put it in 65, 50 or something, you might mishear it. So it is easier for you to hear the audio really clearly if it's full volume. But obviously it depends on your preference. For me, I kept mine at 85 to 90. Another thing is, do not take your mouse on outside the Duolingo window, because it will make your exam ineffective, or I will put the word here. So just be very, very careful on those things. So now let me share with you what are the things that I did for me to take the test and for me to get the 135 score in just 3 days of practice. Well, I practiced only with Duolingo English test. Okay, maximum I practiced with that, but you can also use Teacher Luke's videos in YouTube, which I'm gonna link down below, because it really helped me in terms of writing and speaking. So with those two things, Teacher Luke is gonna teach you things, sort of things that you have to put on describing photos, on describing things on the screen, and to speak about something of a topic or under a limit of time. That's the only disadvantage of Duolingo compared to IELTS, because Duolingo, once you click next, your time is already starting. Without even you reading the passage or the question, your time is already starting. Unlike IELTS, when you have ample and enough time to think about it before you start answering. So here we are in english.duolingo.com. You will just log in. Let me just log in. Of course, this can't be shared with you. So, yep. So now the good thing about Duolingo test is you can practice as much as you want, okay? But the practice test is only 15 minutes compared to the actual test, which is 1 hour. Well, that's an advantage of Duolingo, because it's just gonna take an hour of your time, anytime to be exact, and anywhere, compared to IELTS, where you have I think the whole day. It will take up the whole day of your time. Plus, it's only $49 compared to IELTS and other certificates, which is $200 or so. And yeah, so this is my result. I have 135 in literacy, 145 in comprehension, 130 in conversation, and 120 in production. So let me tell you my tip. The main tip which I'm going to share with you is to practice. What I did was I practiced until I saw myself that I am capable of getting this result. So your practice test will be, say, at first of your practice test, it will be like 90 to 110. Then understand the passage, understand how the exam works, understand what are the things that you have to consider. So improve yourself day by day. And also you can use thatready.com. It's only that you have to pay a few fee. So for me, since it was just 3 days, I just tried it off. I paid $7 for 7 days. The difference between two is for Duolingo practice test, it will give you your approximate or estimated test result by the end of the exam. So you know where you're at, right? So, oh, okay, I have to improve myself in these questions. The difference with thatready.com is in every question, it will give you the correct answer. In thatready.com, you will not be able to see what is your score, so you won't be able to know where you're at. But the good thing about thatready.com is that for describing a photo, talking about a passage, and oh, I hope I have a clip on that which I'm going to share with you. It is very nice because it will give you the practice of how you can describe a photo or talk about something or talk about the topic. So it is a good learning as well during your practice test. But I focused myself on the Duolingo practice test because, again, as I said earlier, it is giving me my estimated results by the end of every practice test. So I think that is very, very important, so you know where you're at and you know what are the type of things which you have to improve and to learn to yourself, because obviously you will know which are different for you or which are difficult for you and easy for you. So before we go to the practice test, please have time to go for this frequently asked questions. So go through all of this. It is really good to know things and be very aware of everything. On my 3 days of practice, don't be like me. I didn't read any of this. So there was a question where it was mentioned that it's better for you to misspell a word than omitting the word. So say for example it says Duolingo English test, but I couldn't spell the word Duolingo. I don't know how to spell it. I couldn't take it. I already took my 3 times of replay for the audio, but I couldn't really take the word. So I omitted the word. I just put English test. So as per their guidelines, it is better to misspell a word than deleting or omitting that word. So it's better that you misspell Duolingo than just taking Duolingo off. You can take scores. Let's open that in the link tab. Now you have here understanding your report and so on and so forth. So what I got was 135, so that's 113 to 115 in TOEFL. So if that's in IELTS, I already got band 8, which is good. So now we are going to test takers. Please read this about the test, who accept the test, prepare for the test. This is very important. I want you to read this. I need you to read this because this has all of the guidelines that you have to consider, that you have to make sure that you know for you to be able to do the practice test and the actual test properly. So download the guide. It's only 79 pages. It's only 79 pages and you can just scan through, get ready for the test. Everything will be there, speaking, writing, and so on and so forth. So you have here the institutions, research, and alike. So I really recommend and highly recommend for you to do it, to read it through. So yeah, now we are going to do the practice test. Make sure that your camera is on, your microphone is on. So this is what I'm telling you. Here, you can already see that the time is running.
Before.
So you have multiple attempts to listen to all of the audios, and you can just choose the audios, listen to it carefully. If you still have time, listen to it again and again and again, and click the right word which you think it's right. Okay, the word which you think is correct, 100%, you know the word, that's the one that you're gonna tick. Okay, you can click next here. So now in this question, if you can see, you have 3 minutes to be exact to process this thing. Now what I do is I read the whole passage. Okay, Bart had placed our 2 chairs in front of the open window, which has a clear view of the village. The fresh air blew in. It was warm and pleasant. So now if you are just going to be like, window which has clear, if you got it, fine. You still have time. You still have 2 minutes remaining. Read the whole passage. Read if it's correct. Read if it's wrong. Because sometimes, trust me, sometimes you think that it's the right word because, okay, it's talking about air. And maybe it's fresh air. And it's also like, it's correct as per the spelling. Like what I'm saying is like it fits on the remaining boxes, or the boxes. It fits on the boxes, so I think that's the correct one. But if you read the passage again, reread the passage again, and understand the passage, not only reading and here and there, you have to understand it carefully. Once you understood the passage, you think that, oh, it's not fresh, it's something else. And then you will write it down, and then you will type it down, and then you will reread the passage, and you will say, okay, that's the correct one. It's not the wrong one. And sometimes, okay, sometimes the same word which they are looking for is also in the passage. It can be the previous sentence, or it can be the next sentence.
Nobody has ever mentioned it.
Now, for this thing, alright, for this thing, you have 2 remaining left, okay? So I will listen to it again.
Nobody has ever mentioned it.
I got it right. So, on the first time that you hear the audio, don't type. Don't type while listening to it, okay? Listen to it, understand it, familiarize by words. I know it's a lot to do before you type on, but trust me, it works really, really well. And then you type. Now you have 2 replays for you to hear the audio. Then listen to it. Check if you did the right thing, or you typed the right notes, or the voice or the audio, and then listen to it again. So that's how I do the listening skill. Now here, in select the real English words in the list, same as the one which you have to listen to the word and choose the word, you have to make sure that you only know the words that you're gonna choose 100%. Don't just choose it because you think it's a right word. Choose it because you know that it's 100% correct. Cooperation, reflection, sympathy, unlock, obtain, simply, replacement, outline, occur, package, theory. So those are the things that I know. Consent, I don't know consent. Maybe it's a word, but I'm not sure. I know constant, but I don't know consent. So those are the things that you have to really make sure. Now, in writing 1 or more sentences that describe the image, you have only 1 minute to describe the image. The thing which I understood about Teacher Luke is that you will not only label the image. You will not say, there are mountains, there are boats, there are people. That's not how you describe an image. You describe an image properly. In this way, I would really recommend for you to go on and check the description box and go on and check Teacher Luke's videos or YouTube videos in terms of describing images, because it really helped me 100% and it gives me more of understanding of what to do and how to do it. So say the image shows that there are more than 10 people riding a boat. Maybe they're friends. So there are also assumptions which you have to do. Now, here, record yourself saying the statement below. I want you to read it first to yourself, and that's the time that you record it. I want you to just be who you are in how you read this.
I have to set my watch ahead by 2 minutes.
I have to set my watch ahead by 2 minutes. I was about to speak to you, but I heard it. I stopped. I listened to it carefully. And this is what he said. Check if I type the correct audio.
I have to set my watch ahead by 2 minutes.
Trust me, listen to it carefully, understand the words, and familiarize the words. You have 3 replays that you could use. Use it practically and very well. Now here, again, electrical engineering has many subdisciplines, the most popular of which are listed below. Although there are electrical engineers who focus exclusively on one of their subdisciplines, many deal with a combination of them. Okay. Remember when I told you earlier that the word which normally they're looking for is only in the passage? Electrical engineering. There are electrical engineers who focus exclusively on one of their I'm not sure if this is right or wrong, but as per I understood it, as per I'm reading, I'm gonna read the passage to you. Electrical engineering has many subdisciplines, the most popular of which are listed below. Although there are electrical engineers who focus exclusively on one of their subdisciplines, many deal with a combination of them, blah 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 blah. So do you think it's correct or wrong? Now I finished it. Now you finished it. You still have 2 minutes. Do not rush. I'm telling you this. I want you to pass the Duolingo like me. Or I want you to pass and hit that level of what you wanted and what you needed. Okay? So you still have 1 minute. If you are 100% sure that, alright, this is fine now, this is good, I read the whole passage, I understand the whole text, hit next. Now again, you will just listen to it.
Animation.
Indivert. Exterior. Recensally.
Truden.
Intellect.
Retailer. Pinpoint.
Shutter.
So I can just,
Retailer.
okay, this is right, this is wrong. Let's just
Shutter.
click whatever. Okay, you have multiple
Animate.
attempts
Indivert. Steer. Recensally.
for you to really get the right answer. Now again, just read it. The teacher had a long discussion with a student. The teacher had a long discussion with a student. You have to say each word, but what they need is for you to speak fluently, not fluently, clearly. Okay? You already know.
Even without seeing you, I would have recognized you by the sound of your voice.
Even.
Even without seeing you, I would have recognized you by the sound of your voice.
Recognized you by the sound of the voice. Now, again.
Even without seeing you, I would have recognized you by the sound of your voice.
Now, respond to the question at least 50 words. Again, in this, see your clock is already ticking. A university plans to develop a new research center in your country. Some people want a center for business research, while others want a center for research in agriculture, like farming. Which of these two kinds of research centers would you recommend and why? So I would suggest you to make a paragraph system on this type of question. You have at least 50 words, so you can exceed 50 words, but don't be less than 50 words. So I would suggest you that on the first paragraph you make your point, okay, or you say that, okay, I am more convinced that business research center can be more of a help to everyone in the community rather than compared to agriculture and farming. So at least on your first paragraph or your first sentence introduction, the reader will already know what is your point, what is this thing which you chose. On the second paragraph, you can talk about the differences of the two, or mainly you can just talk about the positive impact or the advantage of the other one which you chose, and can be defer to the other one, or it depends on how you do it. But for me, in this case, I would say on the first on the introduction, I might talk about what is really the point or which one I chose, and then on the second one it would be the advantage and the disadvantages, or maybe the differences between the two, and then on the last paragraph, which is my closing paragraph, I would say therefore business research is much better of help compared to agriculture or farming in a community because of let it until it's finished. So I want you to understand that Duolingo is not easy and it's not difficult as well. You just need to practice and practice and practice with Duolingo practice test. If not, I will really highly recommend you the getready.com or maybe that Hedwig one. There are more than enough Duolingo videos now in YouTube where you can really which can really help you, which can really improve how you see things, you know. By the way, before we proceed, make sure that the institution that you are applying for or you're already working for, it may be your university or job, or it's just something you want to be on your CV, you have to make sure that Duolingo is accepted to those institutions. Say for example, universities in US or in UK, is it already acceptable? That's why in Duolingo you can see the institutions listed which accepts who accepts Duolingo tests. So yeah, by the way, if you're having your test, make sure that they can see your ears. Yeah, now you have to prepare to speak for at least 30 seconds about a question below. It's not only this 30-second thing, there is also like you will listen to the question and respond to the question type of question. That makes sense. There is something like that. So then you start talking about it, and that is something which you have to speak about, and make sure that you are answering these questions clearly and precisely. You just have to be relaxed. I know at first, bear with me, because at first I was so stressed, I was so scared, I feel so not confident of doing the exam. And then I just rested my back on my chair and took a deep breath and did the test. That helped a lot because it's just be relaxed, and it's gonna help you a lot to do things and to do all those things. So anyways, in this speaking, make sure that you answer all these 4 questions that I have in this thing, and make sure that you're only looking in your screen or looking at the camera. Don't look here and there. I know we tend to look sideways here and there, but we have to make sure that we are just looking at our screen. Say for example, it's like this, so you just look at the screen like that, this and that, blah blah blah. Now we have this interview and writing sample. It's time to record your video interview and your writing sample. These responses will not affect your score, but will be available to institutions that receive your score. So next, you can see me. There you go. That's me. So they have to see your ears and everything. Every time they will see, you will see yourself in this small box, and it will be on the screen. So make sure that nobody's around. Make sure that you are alone in the room. So anyways, these are the topics, and you can speak about it for 3 minutes. So that's it. I hope you got something out of this video. If not, I'm so sorry, but I really hope that you got some points which will really help you. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell notification button for you to get notified whenever I post new videos. I hope you got something. And of course, I always say this, and I will never forget to say this: always keep on striving.